Greetings everyone, Ajon here. Today I'm having a pretty big update for my mod. It's been a while since I did a big update like this. I've been doing some small tweaks here and there, but here is a big update. Let's first start off with the Soviets. The Zisgun has undergone some small changes. The Zisgun now has access to a smoke barrage. Probably should change the icon. Doesn't really fit with the other light artillery barrage, but I'm not exactly an icon maker. Now that this barrage has now access to a smoke barrage ability. It already felt a bit weird or strange how sometimes this barrage has a light artillery barrage and not a smoke barrage ability. And actually, in actuality, having both of these abilities available means the mortar team itself does not have to be required in the support weapon company anymore. So I decided to switch it with the M3, with the special rifle. So now it looks like the M42 for light AT, the mortar team for general support, such as smoke to deal with MGs, as well as garrisons, and you got the more potent penal battalion. While over here, on the support weapon company, we have the Maxim for suppression for defensive. You got the Zisgun for multi-purpose role. The smoke barrage is free. HE barrage still costs 35 munitions. So this will help deal with garrisons and MGs. Not so much with garrisons, but mostly with MGs for the smoke rounds and other static units. And we have the Scout Car, which is a mobile tool to support these two defensive, slower moving items, giving a better, more opportunity for flanking rolls. Next up, this next change involves the Lig and the Pack Howitzer. Let me go ahead and spawn in both of those. The Lig and the Pack Howitzer now gain a alternative firing mode. Load armor-piercing rounds. These armor-piercing rounds turns the weapon to a direct-fire AT weapon that cannot hit infantry. There is a auto-attack limiter, so it cannot hit infantry while in the stage either. And this thus makes these two weapons able to engage vehicles. The importance for this for OKW is the fact now you can go for the Vikenewerfer, or you can go for something a bit more of a mixed support role. This does 135 damage rather than the full 160, giving it a more of a focus versus vehicles. Its penetration is also the same as the M42, like 45mm anti-tank gun. Penetration is not great, damage is not great, but it's just something good for supporting roles. It also vets up these units quite quickly. You can see here it fires quite quickly, but lower damage. It'll take quite a bit of shots to take out any sort of medium vehicle, but it's still able to reasonably penetrate it. The Pack Howitzer is more closer to the Pack 40 in damage and penetration and reload rate, giving an alternative to the M1 AT gun. Now US has two AT options. One big problem right now in Live is the fact that Captain has AT gun while Lieutenant does not. Lieutenant can either go for a Stuart and bazookas, not any fully designated AT capability, which gives it problematic and just longevity wise, which is why Captain's seen more often than Lieutenant, while they still have access to 50 cal and whatnot. So in fact, the US arsenal has undergone some big revisions and actually reverted back from my linear tech design I had earlier and back to the Live's confirmed teching scheme. But now with two AT options, an AT option can be placed at both structures, giving the player access to a reasonable AT in either direction, and doesn't limit any sort of teching path. So let's go ahead and take a quick look of how the teching has been changed. Let's first start with the barracks. Yes, the tech chains even start back all the way back here. The mortar team has now been fully replaced with WC-51. WC-51 can be either upgraded with the 50 cal or to a supply truck. The supply truck makes it perform exactly like an Opel Blitz, or at least my live version of the Opel Blitz, where it able to affect teammates. The assault engineers
is on the line.
can no longer build caches, so now this is the only way for USF to lock down sectors and to increase income. And was still the same, Assault Engineers have been covered. Next on, let's talk about the lieutenant structure, the platoon command post. With the reorganizing of technology, I decided to make the lieutenant more focused on around cheaper units, while so we have the mortar team, which I probably should reduce the cost. The 240 is a little bit expensive for its performance, though I'm hesitant to make it any cheaper because it's already pretty cheap. But I'm thinking 220 or 230 would be a good number for it. 240 just seems a little bit too much for how it performs. You also got the M1AT gun and the lieutenant himself, of course. You can confirm the teching like usual and get the utility car, which has been buffed, and the M15AA half track. So you got the light engineer support unit to help engage the flank. It comes with the weapon skirts automatically upgraded, and the unit's performance is greatly changed. It's very effective, good at flanking, good at supporting, able to build these MG bunkers as well as lay down some AT mines. Note when you build the bunker, it does disable combat movement and it cannot be interrupted.
And listen up.
On to the captain tech. Now the captain does have more focus on more valuable support weapons. We have the Pak Howitzer, much more expensive. The 50 cal, of course, it is a very good MG team compared to the others. And if you confirm teching, while this looks like the M5, this is actually the M16 AA half track. Just the upgraded Soviet half track. The doctrine with the AA the M5 has been altered. I'll cover that a bit later. So now the captain has access. The steward can fight vehicles, but not to the effect of, say, like a Puma. So the Pak Howitzer gives a bit more of a general purpose support. You got the indirect fire, you got the suppression, and got some good infantry support, and a cheap AA option. So now either direction you go for, you can get a guaranteed AA option as well. The major, the 105mm Sherman has been reverted back to doctrines, and this got what's getting restored. So this is probably less intrusive to the current tech scheme. The major is still free, while the lieutenant and the captain are not. Now onto the handful of doctrinal changes. We have, let's see now, Armor Company, yeah. Armor Company, I did some bit alterations. Beforehand, I had elite vehicle crews, the M10, the 240, the combined arms, and the withdrawal and refit. But now I changed it so elite vehicle crews now gets replaced with a Pershing. Now Armor Company has a Pershing. This allows the Armor Company to have a variable armor defense now, and I was mistaken about combined arms. It was actually the Dozer Blade plus white phosphorus rounds. So as of right now, it stands the elite vehicle. There is the Pershing, the M10, the Dozer Blades, the 240, and withdrawal and refit. This gives the Armor Company a variable armored response. You get some nice souped up Shermans. You get some cheap M10 support. And the Pershing. With withdrawal and refit, you're able to withdraw and refit, and able to cycle out your vehicles as needed. If you want to go for a cheaper M10 and stall out for the Pershing, go ahead. That is now an option. With recon support, I had the M8 Greyhound replaced with the M8A1 Scott. And I decided to now replace the M8A1 Scott, since it's no longer doctrinal, with the 105 Sherman Bulldozer. It comes with the Dozer pre-equipped and the 105 gun. Mechanized Company, since the Jeep is now non-doctrinal, I decided to replace the Mechanized Assault Groups with the... what's it called? Can't think of it what's top of my head. With oh yeah, back with the 155 millimeter assault artillery. This, of course, is the original mechanized artillery that can snare engines and stun vehicles. Very nice to have. Now there's one last doctrine I need to cover, and that is tactical support, and I did not have it loaded out. And now here we are with the Tactical Support Company. There have been some small changes here. Let me just go ahead and put the rifleman into cover. Couple big things to note: with the M5 no longer needed in this doctrine, because you already have mobile reinforcements through the ambulance. And now I have restored the old forward observers for the riflemen. This ability now also affects the officer squads and assault engineers. While in cover and out of combat, the rifleman squad will get increased vision for free. Not a huge amount of vision, but it is a free ability. Nice ability to have. This, of course, allow the player to spot for his rifleman squad for the M1919s, as well as potentially to spot for the Sherman Calliope. The reconnaissance overflight has been adjusted, so it now is the Soviet mark target, or the WC-51 mark target, however you want to consider it. This, of course, allows the player to mark an enemy vehicle, which, of course, continuously spot for him, increase damage and penetration, giving it so the Calliope can now more reasonably engage these units with the artillery barrage, as well as potentially even get some good additional damage with the P-47 strafing run. It's a good combination. With the Major already have reconnaissance sweep, it's sort of a bit overlappy of why on earth you need a reconnaissance loiter as well as a sweep from the Major. Just might as well just make it into more of a marked target. So this should provide it more of a, well, fits with the name of Tactical Support. And that covers up all the changes I can think of off the top of my head. This